communication bag, which is all dirty and destroyed right now, that I kind of keep all my audio gear and video gear in. It's pretty much set up so that I always have all these things kind of go with me at any time, just because I never know what I'm going to need or when I'm going to need it. So it actually holds camera that we use, which is the same camera that Oscar rents out. I don't know what Oscar's called now since they switched names. So it's the same camera that Oscar uses, and it records to SDHC cards, which are just like little memory cards now. It's actually the exact same model as the DVX. All I did was take the mechanical drive for the tapes off and replace it. So it's actually about 1.5 pounds lighter than the other camera is, but it's almost the exact same setup, the exact same button structure, and the whole 9 yards. This has 2 microphones on the front of it, but what I'll usually do, this so you guys can see over here. What I'll usually do is, these mics are actually pretty good for almost all kinds of weather, as far as like wind or if you have anything like that. But I usually carry with me, I have a shotgun mic, which I've kind of custom rigged to this setup. And then I'll carry, this is actually Sennheiser wireless audio package. It's about $600, but it's about the cheapest that you can go without having any kind of degradation in your audio quality. You can get like Advent, you can get a couple of other different types of audio wireless transmitters, but the quality is kind of junk. Especially if like, some of them it's like you could be from here to the door and you start to get interference, which is kind of bad. So you can change the channels on them, and you can do a bunch of different things with them as far as like getting to interface with each other and things like that. So I usually carry that. Carry an extra battery. Usually carry actually 2. I keep one on the camera, and then I keep one in the bag. And then actually I have 2 other little doodads in here. I have like a little tiny brick. This is actually the battery that comes with the camera, which is good for maybe like an hour at most. And then I went and purchased like 2 extra batteries. Batteries are good for about 180 minutes or so, give or take on what you're using on the camera. If you're using like the LCD out, the batteries will drain pretty quick. And then I usually carry this, which is your basic, you can plug it in to the wall if push really came to shove and all your batteries died. Let's see what else I've got. So there's that. And you keep like, this is basically an example of the card it records onto. It requires at least class 4 status, which is just basically how fast it can record to these kinds of things. So this is an 8 gig card. They go up to like 32. I think they can even go higher than that if they get really expensive. 8 gigs holds at about, we shoot 720p HD. We'll record probably about 48 minutes or so of HD stuff on it. You get to like 1080p or 1080i. You go out and you're bigger, it'll like reduce that probably by about half. And if you go to like the smaller video forms you get onto, like 720 by 480 or SD, you'll be able to record maybe like double that or triple that. So that's basically, I'll carry like a couple of cards with me. Usually, I don't know if there's one on the camera. Sometimes I'll leave one on the camera. Let's see what else I want. I carry headphones with me. I carry a little tweaker, which is just like a little screwdriver just in case something breaks. I usually carry an XLR. I'll carry a stick mic with me. And this is actually something new that we just grabbed, which is actually an on-camera light for when we're doing like press stuff. When you're shooting in rooms like this, or like the thing I noticed that most prevalently on is when Robert Schultz is doing the State of the University, and he's doing comments afterwards. if you're trying to interview him in a room like this, they usually have the lights about halfway down. They'll usually just put the outside sconces on, and so have like no light on his face. So it's good. It's good for just kind of like running gun kind of situations. I don't really like it the way it looks because it comes off as kind of like local newsy, because it's like the same thing that they use on local news. They put like a sun gun on top, and so you've got like this. The video is always of somebody like with like this bright light like right in their face, so it kind of looks a little like for the most part. So I kind of stray away from using that too often. Another thing I have is actually, this is actually a little handheld monitor, and has battery pack, so it's battery powered, and then this is just a cable to kind of plug it into the side of the camera. So when I'm usually doing my one-man band kind of setup, I'll kind of go in and sit next to the camera. I'll set everything up and I'll sit next to the camera and usually ask people questions and kind of like keep darting back over at the camera to make sure they haven't like, lean forward or backwards or cut of a shot. So I kind of keep an eye on it. But the problem that I kind of have run into with that is that almost all my interviews, the person is always facing camera left. So, because I always have to sit to the left side of the camera to look at the monitor. Because if I'm on this side of it, I can't keep an eye on what's going on. So I got this so I can kind of switch that up a little bit more, just hold it in my hand and just kind of keep peeking down and make sure that they're inside the frame and everything like that. I carry a polarizer filter, which I don't use very often. I carry a ton of extra batteries, like just doubling batteries. I'll usually carry like this is a stereo jack for your headphones, so you can actually go to a larger size. Because sometimes the press boxes that they use don't have small headsets. They use the larger plug. So it's all basically like all the stuff that I've kind of collected over time has been because I'll get somewhere and I'll just be totally screwed, and I'll have to like plug something in and I won't be able to do it, and I'll be like, oh, and I'll have to try to figure out a way around it. So I've slowly started to piece together what I think would kind of work best for as many different situations as possible. This is actually just a Sony handheld mic, which you can use on the XLR. This is actually another transmitter, so this actually goes with the wireless transmitter set. So you can either use your body pack and plug a microphone into it, put like a law on somebody's shirt, or you can plug into this and then run it the same way, and then you don't have to worry about having like a tether to the camera. You can also use this for press conferences too, because they'll usually just have a box with a whole bunch of XLR, outputs on it, and you can just flip this upside down and stick it in there, and you're ready to go. And then you can move your shot around, and you don't have to worry about being wired to the audio, it'll just always be going. I think that is the majority of what I carry with me. I also carry my press badge in here. I usually carry like a cloth of some kind, just in case I'm like out in the dust and I get dust all over the place. I carry Kodak lens paper, so that way I can kind of clean my lenses and stuff like that. And I carry a pair of earplugs because there's times where I go out there and you're at the machine shop or something like that, and it's really bad when you look around. So I just kind of keep all those things in here.